On Wednesday, October 4, the 61st BFI London Film Festival begins. Over 12 days, more than 200 films will be screened, representing more than 60 countries as part of the official programme. From projects by established directors to under-the-radar efforts, here are some of the most exciting entries to look forward to this year. 1. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Woody Harrelson with Frances McDormand credit Fox Searchlight. Martin McDonagh's In Bruges, 7 Psychopaths' latest crime film has been delighting festival audiences this year, and should do the same in London. Frances McDormand plays a distraught mother whose police-shaming tactics, the titular billboards regarding their failure to investigate her daughter's killing, earn her the hostility of Woody Harrelson's chief and many of the townsfolk. Expect vigilantism and justice themes worthy of the Coens or Tarantino. Read our review here. 2. Breathe. Andrew Garfield and Claire Foy in Andy Serkis' Breathe credit Bleecker Street. Andy Serkis' directorial debut and the LFF's opening film concerns the true story of Robin Cavendish. Andrew Garfield, a young polio victim who becomes a globe-trotting champion of the disabled. His family and friends come to support him in his new calling, including his wife Claire Foy, her twin brothers Tom Hollander and the inventor of Cavendish's specialized wheelchair, Hugh Bonneville. 3. Battle of the Sexes. Emma Stone and Steve Carell credit Fox Searchlight. Fittingly, this sports drama is made by husband and wife team Jonathan Dayton and Valerie Faris, who also directed Little Miss Sunshine. Steve Carell and Emma Stone are tennis players Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King, who faced off in a 1973 exhibition match to determine whether the greatest female players could beat even aging male pros. At the same time, it details King's issues with her own sexuality and Riggs' career and discontent. Watch the trailer here. 4. Downsizing. Matt Damon and Kristen Wiig star as a couple who join in this sci-fi film subject matter, shrinking oneself to live more economically and sustainably. Although the changed perspective of being 5 inches tall offers an escape from everyday stresses, it comes with its own problems, and not everyone appears to be getting shrunk willingly. Read our review here. 5. The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Colin Farrell stars in Yorgos Lanthimos film credit A24. In this psychological horror film, Colin Farrell plays Stephen Murphy, a hyper-competent cardiovascular specialist with an equally unsuccessful family life. The only way is down. He begins looking out for Martin, a troubled teenager played by Barry Keoghan of Will Be Useful fame in Dunkirk, who returns the favor by causing chaos in Murphy's Nicole Kidman starring Domestic Life. Is the boy the source of all these problems, or does the surgeon have something to hide? Read our review here. 6. Last Flag Flying. Bryan Cranston, Steve Carell and Lawrence Fishburne in Last Flag Flying credit Amazon Studios. Lionsgate, a comedy drama from Richard Linklater. This is an adaptation of a 2005 novel by Daryl Ponixan. Steve Carell, Bryan Cranston and Lawrence Fishburne play Vietnam veteran friends who reunite after Carell's son is killed in Iraq. The trio embark on a road trip along the East Coast as they transport the coffin home, leaving time for reflection among the group on their own years of service and the time intervening. 7. Brigsby Bear. Kyle Mooney is a kidnapping victim in Brigsby Bear credits Sony Pictures Classics. Claire Danes, Mark Hamill and The Lonely Island's Andy Samberg are among the cast in this film about one of the weirder paths Stockholm Syndrome can take. Kyle Mooney plays James Pope, a man who learns that his parents abducted him as a child. Unable to cope with his new life, he finds comfort in the adventures of a childhood hero, the TV character Brigsby Bear. When the bear's existence also turns out to have been an elaborate trick by his kidnappers, James sets out to introduce the world to his ursine companion and continue filming the show, even if it means going up against the police. 8. My Friend Dahmer. Ross Lynch is a young Jeffrey Dahmer credit film. Rise. Before Jeffrey Dahmer came to fame as the Milwaukee Cannibal, he was your average offbeat high schooler. Just ask his classmate John Backdurf, whose graphic novel became the basis for Mark Myers' film. Intentionally given the feel of a Napoleon Dynamite imitator, the movie's dark but humorous tone shifts massively to the former as Dahmer's depraved sexual and social attitudes are awakened. The director deliberately cast the lead role against type to increase the shock. Ross Lynch is most famous for playing a wholesome musician in the Disney show Austin Ally. 9. Sicilian Ghost Story. Sicily is not underrepresented in mafia movies, but it has been in fantasy mafia movies, until now. A young girl searches for her classmate when he disappears near a forest. In reality, he has been kidnapped by mobsters, but the girl's search for him takes her through a realm of pure fantasy. It's Pan's Labyrinth via Gomorrah. 10. Wonderstruck Julianne Moore in Wonderstruck credit Amazon Studios roadside attraction based on a novel by the author Brian Selznick. The story takes place in two time periods with seemingly unrelated stories. In 1927, pet girl named Rose obsessively follows an actress' career. 50 years later, the Midwestern child Ben longs for his absent father. Then both their paths start leading together. Featuring Julianne Moore, 11. Thoroughbreds Olivia Cook and Anya Taylor-Joy play Connecticut teenagers Amanda and Lily, who reform their friendship after years apart. One is well-educated and set up in life, the other has become a cynical loner. In spite of these differences, they bond again over shared dislikes, including Lily's hatred for her stepfather. But talking things through with him isn't what their reassessment of the world is building to. The film also features the last screen performance by the late Anton Yelchin as a local criminal whose services are called upon by the pair to assist their plans. 12. Le redoutable Louis Garrel and Stacey Martin credit Studio Canal. Michelle Hazanavicius, director of The Artist, has made this film about an eventful period in the life of his compatriot Jean-Louis Godard. The year is 1967 and the Frenchman is in a good place. He has already made a name for himself and is about to marry the 17-year-old actress Anouar Zemsky, on whose autobiography this film is partly based. The upheavals of 1968 are about to test their relationship, however, as will Godard's transformation from an easygoing artist to a politically driven filmmaker as he sets about producing Le Chinois. 13. Memoir of a Murderer credit Showbox Mediaplex. Most people's knowledge of Korean cinema begins and ends with Old Boy, and if you liked that, this film won't take you too far from your comfort zone. Sol Kyung-joo plays Bung-soo, a serial murderer retired by Alzheimer's and cared for by his adoptive daughter. She introduces her new boyfriend, whom Bung-soo recognizes as a fellow killer, and sets out to thwart his plans. But how reliable is his memory? For tickets and full program details, visit the London Film Festival website.